Patrick Murray is a nurseryman and innovator. He operates a 30-hectare nursery in Woodville with current capacity to produce 9 million seedlings each season. But he has bigger goals, which will only be achieved through automation and some clever thinking.
The property that we're on, it was pioneered by my great-great-grandfather in 1876. And so heritage has been very important to me. And so when I took over the business, sustainability and viability of the business were really important. So what we did was we looked at the production system and said, is it sustainable and how can we improve it from a viability and an environmental perspective? And so that led us down the path of automation. And from an environmental perspective, do we need to use the chemicals that we're using? Are we doing things just because that's what you do? We saw that there was a lot of room to get a lot more efficiency. And for example, these pine blocks used to take 74 hours to get the seed in and the fertiliser on back in the early 70s, and we can now do that in 6 hours. And so we're massively decreased our energy inputs, our impact on the soil with less compaction. And so all the inputs, your equipment activity, your chemicals and your fertilisers, if you can reduce them anywhere, you're doing a good thing. This machine that we've been working on with the GPS implement steer and autopilot on the tractor is actually giving us a platform, a precision platform that we can look at robotic harvesting. So we're simulating a fixed nursery environment, like a container nursery out in the field. And with that level of precision, we can then bring robotics out of those environments and into the open field is what our end game is, what our end goal. And in between that, we can automate all the other processes, lateral root pruning, undercutting, spraying, and improve the efficiency, but also the precision. So we're doing less and we're doing it more efficiently. They're big gains, they're really big gains. Forestry is an extremely volatile industry. It's influenced by global markets. So the demand for tree stocks in our nursery can drop 5 million in a year. So automation and really high efficiency is critical to having that resilience to the volatility. So we can grow, with myself and one other staff member, we can grow 5 to 7 million trees. And then we have our seasonal harvestings or lifters. And so that means it doesn't impact on the business that much if we're growing 1 million or 10 million. There's not many businesses that could sustain, a 5-fold reduction in their sales or their production. You can't survive. And so having a production system that's so efficient and that is based on actual demand is crucial to the long-term viability of the business. And the percentage of nursery that those hedges take up. Forestry nurseries in New Zealand have their own industry body, New Zealand Forest Nursery Growers Association. I'm current president. Scion are members, along with 99% of forestry nurseries. Overall, there's quite a collaborative approach, and all nurseries, we have tours every year and we all visit each other's nurseries and peep over each other's fence, and probably 90% of information gets exchanged, and that benefits everybody. And so we looked around and wanted a bed form, a basis of the machine that could handle a much greater range of soil conditions. And so it's a twin rotor. It has two.
Simon is visiting Murray's nursery today because as a Crown Research Institute, it's really important for us to get to know who our research customers are, what their business entails, and how we can best support them. So we've come down to have a look and see what kind of operations he's doing, what kind of technologies he's employing, and to see where we can help out and assist. What's been most impressive is what Patrick's doing in terms of addressing sustainability. I think it's a key focus in the forestry industry. A lot of that is around the environment, and so what he's doing with minimising his use of fungicides and fertilisers has been really, really interesting. And then also, obviously, his mechanisation, because there are some labour supply issues we possibly face in our industry. And so what he's doing with automation and how that'll help in health and safety, I think is really, really important. And he's really certainly pioneering in that area. The most surprising thing is just the efficiency of the machine that he's using to prepare his beds and to sow his beds. The speed at which he's able to prepare and sow a bed compared to what would have been done a generation ago is very impressive. It's sort of 10% of the time. And just having a look at the uniformity of the crop, even at those speeds, and the efficiency of sowing, yeah, I've been especially impressed with that.
We've done some trials around fertiliser use. It actually coincides with some research that Sion and Simeon Smale has been doing, and that's demonstrated that reducing fungicides and fertilisers significantly actually improve mycorrhizal activity in the trees. So they're the two things that deplete mycorrhizal activity. And when they go out into the forest, those trees survive and perform better than trees in a standard production system. We've actually just taken 40% out of our total crop this year, 40% of our fertiliser application, and the trees are looking really good. We're satisfied that that might be a new baseline until we get further information. Most clients or people who would see these trees probably don't realise that what we actually send out the gate in terms of a seedling is about 50% of the biomass, total biomass of what we've actually grown in the nursery. So we've cut the root off at 100 millimetres and we've cut 30 centimetres off the top, and all that's gone back in as composting. So we are putting in, within the process, some organic matter. That's something we're going to have to monitor quite carefully, is that we don't get ourselves into trouble and not have the right balance of inputs and outputs from the soil. So that'll need some more intensive evaluation as that work carries on.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.